Centuries ago, the Malian Emperor Mansa Musa sent his best and brightest scholars, explorers, warriors, and artisans across the great Western Ocean to discover new lands. They succeeded in ways no one could have imagined. Now, 3,000 years later, their descendants live and thrive on the planet of Vutoa, with plenty to learn and explore on their new home, and the Hapalox and the Landed threatening Vutoa from afar. The calls of adventure and discovery are stronger than ever. Join creative director Tanya DePass as Invicta, the High-and-Old Blade Keeper, DJ Knight as Ikemba, the Musalian Biopriest, Michael Sinclair II as Ilay, the Misajai Lightbringer, Christina Ariel as Sila 919, the Mansagene Biopriest, Gabe Hicks as Doring, the Solansi Packmaster, and Eugenio Vargas as the Storyteller, as they explore new planets, make new friends, and treat everyone they meet luxuriously. Welcome to the Motherlands.
Hello, welcome back. Hey, we weren't here last week and now we're here this week. Welcome back to Into the Motherlands. This is season 4, episode 8. And I'm your storyteller, Eugenio Vargas, also known as DM Jazzy Hands. I'm so happy to be back, y'all. Hey. We got 3 more. And the truth is, I didn't think about this last week because I was very stressed on Wednesday night, leaving the next day. But now, in retrospect, I missed y'all, and we're back.
You weren't sure?
Wow.
I mean,
I don't know if I missed y'all. I had to get through the holiday first.
I did. I just didn't realize.
That just sounds so bad.
Y'all know I love you. Y'all know I love you.
Colonizer dinner and everything.
I was not either. I was on a damn plane. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We got 3 more of these this season. I am excited. People opening portals, walking through portals. We'll talk about all that in a minute. But first, let's go around and let everybody know who the rest of the crew is tonight, who you are, who we're playing. And let's get wild. Let's start with Michael.
It's a chaotic week. I don't know what's going on. We're just popping off midweek. All right. Hey, Michael Sinclair II. I go by Michael Crits everywhere. I play the they, them, mayhem, petty, Ilay. They're Misajai Lightbringer. We have a good time here. Let's do the thing.
Yes, all of that.
Interject you just a second,
please, and then you can go next. So interject all you want.
Mayhem is the best thing I've heard all day long. That was excellent. Exemplary. Also, hi, I'm DJ. I play Ikemba, a Musalian Biopriest. That's pretty much me. Our pronouns are he, him, myself, and Ikemba. You're awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us. And seriously though, they then mayhem, bro.
Yeah, truly.
I got it from a sticker. I can't take all the
credit. I don't care.
Okay.
I heard it from you. I will forever link this to you because you were the person that I heard it from.
That's
you
right.
Forever get the credit.
I also want that sticker. Hey, Christina. How you doing? Hi.
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Happy to see you again.
Yeah, it's nice to be seen, hang with the homies.
Yeah.
Rolling with the homies as we do our thing, our thug thizzle. Hi, I'm Christine Ariel. I'm gonna play your captain, Sila 919. What's going on with Sila? I don't know. I'm just doing stuff at this point.
It's my favorite because I have realized that you don't know either, and so it's great that I don't because then we'll just discover it together, and that's my favorite kind of storytelling.
It is. It's just your Mansagene Biopriest with a couple of fixer little techniques thrown in there for good measure.
Yeah, and definitely not a cult chip. It's fine.
Wink.
Wink.
For those of you here in podcast form, that was a wink.
Gabe, who are you?
Hold on.
Oh, we're not done.
And a nod.
And a nod. Gabe.
Hi, I'm Gabe Hicks, aka Richard. Gabe James Games across all platforms. I am Doring I was speaking slow because I was trying to remember terminology. Richard Chocolate, actually. Your Solansi Packmaster. 100%. No, I'm saying sometimes 110%, depending on the cacao, but
Stop, Tanya, introduce yourself and make Gabe stop.
I was pretending I couldn't hear.
Someone basically described me and a bunch of other people as like food and frostings.
No.
And I was definitely
Whoa,
the darkest
Tanya,
one.
take
So
your
I'm like,
turn.
I know I'm rich chocolate. I'm owning it.
You know
now.
what, Gabe? You're done. I'm muting you.
I want proof of this. I want to see this.
Got
If this is
you.
a thing that you have links to, I need it.
I
All
got
right.
you.
While you all
That
are
was
doing
hilarious.
that, I'm gonna say
Uh-huh.
who I am. Then I can send
Please.
a tweet that we're live because I forgot to do it again. Hi, I'm Tanya. I return to the mayhem every week. I'm not sure why. I don't know what's gotten into everyone the last few episodes. I'm so sorry.
They then mayhem.
Oh, so we blame Michael. I got it.
If I may sprinkle, nah, the terminology just is perfect.
Yeah.
Mayhem just so happens that they them is a part of it. Just sprinkle
There you
them in
go.
there.
So
just
that's. I think you have your episode title.
I'm gonna keep that one in the bag for things.
Anyway, I play Invicta, your high and old Bladekeeper. Both Invicta's pronouns and mine are she, her.
Fantastic. And once again, I'm Okenyo. I'm DM Jazzy Hens. I use he and pronouns, and my NPCs do all sorts of weird things. We'll find out. I don't know. Let's thank some folks who make it possible for us to be here every week. First of all, we of course want to thank Die Hard Dice. We appreciate them very much working with us, creating character sets, beautiful dice over there at Die Hard Dice. For all price points, all materials, go check them out. dieharddice.com/Vatoa. That's /VUTOA. Get a little discount off your order. Kick a little bit of your order over to us. We appreciate you very much. Go check them out. dieharddice.com. Also, want to thank Logitech for creators and their partners at Blue Microphone for providing the cast with these fantastic new Sona microphones. They have been really great for us this season, and we appreciate them very much. Logitech for creators doing awesome things with a bunch of really awesome creators, uplifting marginalized voices, all kinds of cool stuff over there. Go check them out and all of their programming. Next up, we want to thank VoiceMod. I don't know if we're going to hear from Rafia or not tonight. But we'll see. We are partnered with VoiceMod. You can go to voicemod.net. That's right, .net. To check out their services. You can download a free version of VoiceMod, play with it a bit, and if you like it, you can then get a premium license and get all the fun sounds on your computer. Make your voice sound like all kinds of weird things, like we do here in the Motherlands. Last but not least, we want to thank Twitch, 4 whole seasons strong. We appreciate their support. We appreciate them believing in us, giving us the opportunity to create this world, create this story for you. We are, of course, using Twitch's guest star, a relatively new feature here on the platform that lets us all connect virtually, kind of like Zoom, but better. That's right. I said it. And before I get in trouble for that, let's do a recap. Now, it's been a couple weeks, and I did offer to Michael, since I watched bits and pieces of our last episode to prepare for today, to take a little bit of a lead on that. Sound good?
Yep, you're leading. I'll follow. We're dancing. Go.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Backwards and high heels. I'm sure I will miss things that are in your notes, so feel free to jump in and fill in the gaps. But last week we began in that mysterious labyrinth underneath the mountains, just to the west of Osalam. They had run from Starskitters and gone inside and all kinds of weird things. They had gotten kind of a little bit cornered, although cornered makes it sound like it wasn't by choice, by a landed patrol, landed soldier, landed scientist, and one of them panther robot machine things. Things did not go well for the landed. And then even after the landed surrendered, things continued to not go well for the landed. The Panther machine was impaled upon Invicta's sword. The scientist got shot, I believe, and had some other injuries, and then got dragged down a hallway when they were retreating. There was a distress signal or a beacon or something activated at one point by the landed, but some very strong words from several of our crew got them to deactivate that. There was some concern that the other landed team that the crew knew was in that labyrinth would come and check things out anyway. And so in an effort to GTFO, Doring grabbed the egg-shaped device and then immediately was reminded that their touch activated. The egg device began to spin up, began to open up and emit some lights, and another one of those glowing, mysterious portals, just like the one in the tunnels, in the Batantu tunnels back at the beginning of the season, appeared in the chamber. I tried to have a cliffhanger about whether or not they would go through the portal, but Doring said, "Nah, I'm going through." And so we jump back. Any big things I missed, Michael?
Yeah, you forgot that Ilay used the new talent for combat auntie of sucking their teeth as someone was getting their stuff pushed in.
I did forget about that. Beautiful teeth sucking auntie talent. I love it. So that's where you heard me. That's where we find our crew. The portal is open. The landed are retreating, and Doring has stepped through. Now, Doring, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
And remind me. Oh, I'm gonna check our thing real quick. Yeah, remind me. Who of the crew took what are they called? NotSkitters souvenirs, either from the fight or from the horrible experiment room that y'all found down here? I believe at least one of you did, and I don't remember if it was Doring or Ilay. Took like a piece of NotSkitter when you all defeated them out in the canyon.
I don't believe it was me. I don't think
then it
I
might have
tried
been
to.
you.
Yeah, it was
You
probably
tried to
me.
not. Okay, great. So as soon as Doring steps through, you can, as before, you cannot see him anymore. You can't see them on the other side or anything like that. But you can still hear them. And you all very clearly hear, as of course do you, Doring, since you are still holding the egg-shaped device, you hear that sort of ticking begin. And that's where we'll start.
I'm gonna toss it to somebody else.
Toss it back through the door.
Yep.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Who thinks they probably would have been next to try and go through the portal?
Good luck catching that bomb.
Wow.
Once Ikemba saw a team member go through, he would have went through.
That's sort of what I was thinking. Yeah. All right. So Ikemba, as you're about to step through, the egg-shaped device just comes hurtling through the portal, probably right into. I mean, you're a tall man, probably right into your chest. And it is ticking like it was before. You remember the other one began to tick after. Well, you know what? Why don't you put together a little memory pool for me, Ikemba? Any of you can, actually, to see if you can, how specifically you can remember last time this happened. And I, of course, don't have any of your
I
character
feel like
sheets
Ikemba
open.
did like a bomb roll last time, so Ikemba should remember.
That makes sense to me. For Ikemba, I'm gonna reduce the DL by 1 because you also were the one that was holding it before, I believe.
And then
I take
figured out and then
investigation. I
explained
take
it to Torch.
Yeah, but there's something more specific that you might get this time. I take investigation. I take focus. I would take. Hell, I'd even take science, I guess, because you have studied this thing.
And anyone can do a pool, you say?
Yeah, everyone else's DLs will be 1 higher than Ikemba's, since Ikemba was the one who was sort of dealing with this particular aspect of it before. But yeah.
And wow, it's been a week and I just literally forgot the name of the extra die we rolled.
The utility die. Yeah, it'll be that's a D4 for everybody.
Okay.
Ikemba, yours is DL2. Everybody else DL3. So just let me know who gets it, and if anyone gets like a critical. No, Ilay's like.
Wow. I only got
interested.
1 success, but I got 2 ones.
Ooh,
I also got
okay.
1 success.
1 success. All right.
Am I
Well,
rolling on the other side?
You can if you want to. You heard the thing. You were there. Yeah, that's
That
nice
was 2
too.
then.
Okay.
Well,
Captain, any interest in trying to remember this?
I didn't get it.
I don't have to try to remember anything.
You know what? DL2 for you as well. To call it up quickly, because there is a timed aspect to this, which I think is relatively obvious by the ominous ticking the thing is doing.
Don't like.
do not like.
I don't like.
Funny, because I do so much.
You've been playing video games with timers again, haven't you?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That laugh told me
Listen.
all I needed to know.
A little,
No bit.
little Subnautica in my life ain't doing me no harm.
Oh no. Sorry, that is the worst game for my motion sickness. I'm like, oh god,
no. Yeah.
Mm,
Captain, you good over there?
Yes. Hold on
Okay, great.
1 second.
That is fine.
I realize my dice bag has been moved by a certain child, so I am digital.
Okay, gotcha. No worries.
that's the worst. You're like, I just had these.
Yeah.
Welcome to my life.
And then pretty soon there's going to be another one grabbing things and moving them around. Gotta love it.
Mhm.
The choices that I've made, my dude.
But they're so cute.
I know. I did good.
You did.
All right. You said a D4?
D4 for utility die, yeah. And then, I mean, science or focus or investigation. Pick your skill
it's
there.
a 3.
Okay, great. So Scylla is sitting quietly, towards the back of the group. And as soon as the ticking starts, Scylla, you remember a couple of things right away. First of all, you remember that this thing ticks not to explode, but for the portal to close. So there is a sort of time limit if you all are going to go through now that Doring has passed through. But there's something else that you put together. Last time, the egg didn't start ticking until Invicta went through. This time, it started as soon as the first person, or anyway, as soon as Doring went through. So it's keyed to something, but at least at the moment, you're not exactly sure to what. But there must be something that triggers this timer to start, and it isn't just someone passing through the portal.
Can I do a pool to see? Because I feel like as a smarty pants high and all, I should be able to figure this out.
So you can go ahead and put together your pool. Don't roll yet, because another bit of information is forthcoming.
Okay.
All right, so Captain, you know that the timer has begun. So if y'all are going to get through, you best get through. Tossing the egg-shaped device back through does not seem to have stopped the timer in any way.
I think it would be in our best interest to quickly make our way over yonder.
I will go through.
All right.
Ikemba tosses it over his shoulder and walks through.
Yep, we're just playing hot potato down the row.
Yep.
Wow.
Now, what's going to be interesting is if the last person tries to hot potato it. All right, so
Well.
1 through was Doring, 2 through was Ikemba, third in line anyway right now is Ilay with the egg.
I'm just gonna backpack it because it
Yeah,
doesn't.
okay.
I don't think it really matters.
Okay, great. All right. So you get in your backpack, you go through, and then Invicta and Captain Silo 919 follow through as well. As soon as you all get out in there, you know that once again you have traveled a distance. But it only takes you a few seconds to realize this distance might be a little further. It is much warmer here wherever you are and like more humid. You look around and you see that you are in a forest of enormous trees. They're fairly spread out. There are gaps in the canopy, so there's light coming in, but these trees are bigger than any you have ever seen anywhere on Vitoa. And as you're looking up at the canopy, you all also notice that the sky has a sort of yellowish orange tinge to it. That doesn't seem right.
Don't like.
But before you can sort of react too much to all that, you all hear some footsteps, some very fast footsteps coming from the other side of that portal, the side that you all just left. You can hear the very clear sound of metal, probably a metal quadruped just from the cadence, and then some other footsteps, bipedal sounding footsteps, racing towards that portal that has a few seconds left. It is, at least at this point, still open.
Oh.
Yes, Ilay.
Would you say I have rope?
Absolutely, Ilay has rope.
Great.
100%. Uh-huh.
Is there 2 things to attach in front of said
Oh
portal?
no.
I mean, you got 4 friends with you. You could use them.
The whole crew has passed through at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and like string together like some things of rope in front of it so that whoever is trying to come through either gets bounced back or held there, and then if it, well, I'm just putting that up there.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I love this. I have some very important and kind of specific questions, which are how, like you said, a couple, like, are you doing multiple like crosses of rope, or just like, are you clotheslining this person?
I'm thinking we should just do multiple instead of clotheslining, so we don't have to deal with them.
We have time to close. Do we have time for that?
Yeah, I mean, if you toss each, you can toss rope. You got a few seconds. It's as long as you hold on tight, and we will be rolling about it. It should probably be all right. Mostly, I just wanted to know if you're going to clothesline him, because that felt like it gave the potential that this person would be half through the portal when it closed, and that's gross.
Oh.
All right, so Invicta
Michael would do this. Ilay, that's not ethical. For
Invicta
Ilay.
would do that.
Yeah, but Ilay's the one with the plan. All right, but Invicta is holding some of the ropes. Who is on the other side? Ilay, are you holding the other side?
Sure.
It was your plan.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So Ilay and Invicta, give me like strength-based pools. So I would take what would I take? Let me look at these. I would take vigor. Vigor is actually probably right. Skirmish, I could see, sure, although that's specifically combat. Maybe not skirmish, but I would buy brawl. I would definitely take vigor. I would even take you know what? I would take grace to like do it fast enough.
Okay.
Are we all rolling this?
Right now, it's just Ilay and Invicta, unless y'all are doing something else to help this rope situation. But it's all happening pretty fast.
Would you say that we get a utility for roping?
Oh yeah, you know what? Make it a D6 for rope. Yeah.
Okay, I'll roll my rolls.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out what else I'm doing.
Bro. Okay.
Oh, I don't have the right skills for any of this.
This is awesome, and I love it. How'd we do, Ilay?
I got one success and 2 ones. So
okay, but you got a success. The ones only matter if you get no successes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Ilay's got one.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing here, because this is not going well.
I'm gonna go ahead and.
Can I only use one skill because none of my values match what we're doing?
Yeah, unfortunately, if there's no matching value, you just don't get a value die.
Wisdom? The wisdom of doing this foolishness?
You know, I have no trouble believing that Invicta has clotheslined a person before. So yes, sure.
All right. It's the fact that you have no problem believing that.
It says knowledge multiplied by experience is how wisdom is, and I think Invicta has the experience.
All right. I almost rolled the wrong utility die because you told us we get a 6.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so much better. I got 3 successes.
Okay. I also rolled 3 successes. So with Ilay's 1 to increase that to 4 on y'all's end, you all feel a tension as this person, whoever it is, tries to head through the portal. You also hear like one of those muffled, like behind the helmet, like shrieks that you heard before from the scientist dude. Very similar, like no. And you just feel a tension and then bounce back. And as the person who you barely just saw like the front of their helmet pass through the portal, they bounce back in a way. You hear some tumbling going on the other side, and the portal snaps shut.
Well,
that went better than I thought. Spare the moment.
I'm glad we're all on this side.
I'm just coiling the rope back together.
Yeah, there are parts of it that probably got sliced by the portal, like just like towards one end. We'll say towards your end since it was the lowest number of successes, but it's still perfectly serviceable rope. You definitely know you don't want to get caught mid-portal when it closes, though.
Mm-hmm.
It seems. So what should we do next?
Figure out where we are.
Are we able? How likely would it be that there's a scanner built into like the handheld devices?
Scanner to what end? Because Pi, I would think, but tell
Like
me
air
more.
quality.
Oh, interesting.
I make you say that a lot.
Yeah, and I like it every time, honestly. Well, most times.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think you all are being sent to. Yeah, I think particularly for the jobs that this crew is sent on, it makes sense to me that you would be given pretty kitted out like devices. So yeah, that makes sense to me.
And
scanning for like breathable quality or
like breathable quality. Just because the idea, like if you're checking the air quality, sometimes it varies depending on how like deep underground you are.
Sure.
Depending on like elevation. So like even if it feels normal to us now, is it like, oh, actually it feels normal now, but then like in an hour you're gonna be choking.
Totally. Yeah, and this is, I mean, a pretty standard function on here.
Yeah.
And so what you get back is a different, surprisingly different mixture of gases in the air. There's way more oxygen than you would normally expect there to be. There are a few unexpected, there's a bit of argon in this one. Wait. No. What I said this guy was yellowish orange. Yeah, I think that's argon. Anyway, there's like a noble gas in there in a slightly higher percentage than you would expect. Nitrogen and nitrogen's kind of out of whack a little bit.
Yeah.
The biggest, most obvious thing is the higher concentration of oxygen. But in terms of for you all, you should be fine. If anything, the higher oxygen will give you a little extra. Well, I don't want to say vigor because that's a skill, but you know.
Yeah. Interesting, unexpected. He'll pass that along and then just kind of like try to take note of his surroundings.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, is there a way or reason that Invicta might know where they are, or is this too far away from Holland?
I would say it is probably too far from Holland's.
Okay.
Doring, since you just took note of your surroundings, something is weird
Different
about
planet.
these trees.
Yeah, this is a different planet or something, I assume. Is there wind?
There is a slight breeze through the forest. Yeah, ever so slight. Every now and again, sure.
Sorry. Okay. You know what is? Can I make a check about the trees, Eugenio?
Yeah, again, I don't think you need to. You ain't never seen trees like this before. Yeah, Ilay.
May I jump, please?
Oh, I like that. I hadn't thought about it. Yeah, jump.
How much do I get off the ground, and how much do I go back to? How fast do I get back to the ground?
It feels you can't quite jump as high, and it feels kind of strange because with what Doring just told you about, like the increased oxygen, like you're feeling more sort of. You're feeling a little stronger and a little like readier for action, but you're just not quite getting the ups like you used to.
Is there rock? Is there a rock or stone?
Oh, almost certainly, yeah.
I grab one, use my staff, and just try and bat one and see how far.
Yeah, the arc is somewhat, I don't think it cleared the pitcher's mound, my dude.
Gravity is bad
here. This is a big planet, which could be a good or bad thing.
Doring tries to call torch.
Yeah. No response.
Okay. That's more concerning.
The service you have called is disconnected.
This number cannot be found. Please try again. Please hang up and try. There it is.
We're sorry. Torch could not be connected. Please try again after you've gone within range of our satellites. Thank you. Goodbye.
The goodbye for me.
Yeah, same.
To an operator.
Operator.
Torch connection could not be made. Please try again Goodbye.
As you all are standing here confused, beginning to put a few pieces together, you hear this deep, rumbling sort of cry or scream. Scream makes it sound like a humanoid voice, and it is not, right? But it is of some large creature fairly far in the distance, but it's the first evidence of like fauna you've found so far since you came on this side.
Not like the Annihilation Scream Bear, right? Like we're
No.
not.
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Trying.
That doesn't sound like anything I've ever heard. Doring, does that sound like any animals you've ever encountered?
So here's one more question than you had.
Yeah, I'm ready for you.
It made me think of something interesting. Does that, in my experience, sound like something that is calling out of fear or something that is calling a pack?
I like that. This one I am going to have you roll about, but I
Yeah.
like it a lot. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Fear. Because sometimes when animals screech, they screech because they found something.
Mhm.
Is that the squad call?
That's what I'm saying.
Squad.
Can I use self staying alive at all costs? Because
Hell
boring is
yes.
yeah.
Hell yes.
So self-awareness.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean into.
Great. Love it. D4 utility. Go for it.
That is 3.
It sounds like how did you describe the options? Call in the squad, or what was the other version? Fear is
fear,
not fear. Yeah. No. You don't actually think it's calling the squad either. It sounds like a triumphant like predator has taken down its prey.
Gotten something and it's saying, "Get away while I eat."
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. And you know what? With 3, because for you, I gave that a deal too. So with 3, I will also say it almost sounds like a bird.
That's worse. Well,
I told you before we started.
Birds are bad.
Don't like.
Doring will pass along that it sounds like something that has claimed its prey, and it's basically like shouting out, "Leave me to feed." It also sounds like some sort of avian creature, and if this is somewhat different, if gravity is what is stronger here, to be able to suspend yourself means your strength is unfathomable. I want one.
Should we move then? Because
No, well, yes, but away from it.
right.
It will definitely try to eat one of you.
How about you?
Just
Just
not me,
not
though.
you.
Yeah.
I look more like vegetation.
All right, never mind.
Fair point.
There's like, even if there's meat underneath, it's like you don't chop open a tree expecting a stick. It made sense though.
That's why
It does make sense.
It made sense, but it was disturbing.
Oh yes,
So
absolutely.
what you're saying is it would rather put its claws upon your shoulders
Yes.
as a resting place
Mhm.
when expecting food. That's fair.
Mhm. So I've
I don't
most
want to
of
be
my
its
pets.
meal though, so we should probably be moving.
Which direction is the Doring wants to move in the direction that the wind is blowing, so that they're moving with their scent if there's other creatures that want to eat us here.
Absolutely. Yeah. You sort of and yes. Exactly. Yeah, and you all can head off in that direction. It's only a couple of minutes that you all are moving in that direction when the light, the sun, begins to set, and it begins to get a little darker, but it doesn't last. You all look up as the forest floor begins to darken, and you see rising more moons than one might expect if you were on Vatoa. But more than that, and they do give off a good amount of light, but it is dark down here underneath this sparse but extant canopy. But there are stars everywhere in this forest, or in this sky, whatever. There are so many stars. They're all a little sort of green, though, sort of contrasting against this yellowish sky pretty well.
Question.
Answer, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Because I'm a light bringer,
Yeah.
and I have a connection to the cosmos.
Yeah.
Is there a way that I can maybe look out into the stars and maybe get some sort of bearings of maybe where in the universe we are? If there anything that might be familiar, like it's a long shot.
Yeah. I like this. So you think of this, I think, at least in part, because as these moons rise, you do feel a little more of an influx of that nighttime, dark void, whatever power that you normally, you have that sort of dichotomy, day and night. You feel a little more of it, and it must be because of all of these stars, right? But then you sort of open your awareness, your Lightbringer awareness, and these stars are empty. Like there's not there, you don't get anything from them. And then you see some of them move.
I don't know if you see what I'm seeing. Probably. Those are not stars, and two, they move. I don't know what that means. They might all be spaceships.
Seeing the stars moved.
Satellites, something. They're not stars. I don't feel anything from them, which is now I'm even more disoriented.
Interesting.
Invicta's gonna have a moment of pondering the worst thing possible.
Yeah.
She looks up.
Uh-huh.
Remember the spider things?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Please tell me that those are not what I think they are.
Gabe.
Doring does that thing where it's like just like turning his head and like moving his hand. Is it pretty, considering Doring's experience with the Starskitters, is that most likely what those are?
So maybe.
Don't say that.
Well, it certainly would make sense, but there's a couple of very distinct differences, right?
Oh,
the Starskitters that you all encountered, very clearly, their bioluminescence was very like white blue, right? Like made it real difficult. If you saw one of them above you at night, it would be kind of tough to distinguish it from any of Vatoan stars. So the color doesn't seem right. And then also, your experience with Starskitters, they had like little packs of like 3 to 5, but this is way more than that. So again, that doesn't seem like Starskitter behavior.
So it's worse.
Not because of the Starskitter thing, but just because I tried to reach out and the planet and all that other stuff, and community is important to me. My connection to the things around me is important. Ilay's going to respond by throwing up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unpleasant. This is good. Oh, I'm
disoriented.
So good at this.
I don't know what you want from me.
So good at this game. Okay, so as Ilay turns and revisits lunch, a chunk of the stars move, and you see coming down the trees, not Starskitters, not really bug-looking creatures at all. These actually they do have, though, as you see them, they're kind of furry on their backs and their arms. They do have 8 legs, but they look almost mammalian, maybe. But on their bellies, they have, just like the Skitters, they have these pinpricks of light. And as they come down, you can see other definite similarities. The way that their legs and arms are jointed is kind of reminiscent of arachnids on Vatoa, but these are not arachnids, right? There are similarities, but they are not skitters. And they come down and they go to town having their dinner on Ilay's lunch.
I try really hard not to throw up again.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, there's a bunch of them more hungry, so go for
No
it.
thanks.
Do they ignore Ilay and just go for what
Yeah,
they've...
they don't seem. I mean, a couple of them maybe. Well, it's hard to. They don't really have. Like, they don't have necks, right? They have clear like head portions, but then it's just like body underneath, right? And so a couple of them like vaguely sort of look in your direction. They have a few more eyes than perhaps you might like to see on a mammalian-looking creature. But they look at you and they sort of clearly notice you, but they don't care.
Is there a way to skirt around them?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm just gonna be like one of those like people in movies that, you know, like they're trying to sneak and they like blend into the wall.
Yes, absolutely.
Because this is too much like a star skitter. No, thank you.
Yep, fair enough. There are definite differences, but there are definite similarities.
Nope.
Less
Nope.
bug-like, but still too many eyes.
Nope. Time to go.
Yep.
Stars moving.
right.
Time to go.
It's a good rule of thumb, generally.
Totally.
Yeah, as you all go, you see more of these things all over the canopy. Every now and again, you'll see a couple of them down on down the trunk of a tree, or maybe every once in a while on the ground. But again, those that acknowledge your presence don't really seem to bother you too much. As you all continue walking, eventually the lights in the sky do begin to thin out. Is there anything that you all are looking for or hoping to find or aiming towards, or are we just going? And what's the thought here?
Invicta's thought is to go. I don't know what y'all are doing.
Yeah,
She's
that's
leaving.
fair enough. Yeah, that's also totally acceptable.
Nope.
We going.
Okay,
Ikemba's
you
trying
go.
to
You go.
dip.
Yep. All right, so y'all are running. Walking briskly, dipping, and you get to the point where there's like maybe little clusters of like 3 or 4 of these creatures every once in a while in the canopy, and you see another as you're sort of reaching the edge. You can see the edge of this forest, and it opens out onto this incredible, beautiful plain with this bright. Well, I guess in the dark it's not so bright, but this purple grass, long, tall grass. I mean, it's only probably up to maybe your like knees, but like it's definitely tall grass out in this plain. But there's a little cluster of these not star skitters on the ground feeding on something, and they are sort of making these little clicky, chittery noises. They seem pretty happy. They must be having their dinner, whatever. And right as you all are maybe, I don't know, 5-6 meters away from them, they stop. Dead silence. And you realize that you've been hearing those little like chitters and clicks and things in the forest, and just a sort of forest noise. You didn't pay much attention to it. But the forest is now silent.
Like creepy silent?
Oh, yeah.
Is it
Like quiet, too quiet, silent.
is it silence accompanied with a look at us or a look at a general direction?
What a good question. It's a look up.
Doring gets immediately as low to the ground as possible.
Yeah.
Ikemba sees that and immediately does the same.
Same.
Yeah,
Like,
great.
no questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be foolish and look up and see what they're looking at.
Love everything about that, Captain.
I would like to slowly start creeping towards them,
Yeah.
but get caught by Invicta.
Invicta's looking up, but somehow she knows and just mommy seatbelt arms you back. Invicta, you look up and you don't see anything at first. You feel it.
Oh.
It is a sort of like pressure change.
Oh.
And then the next thing that happens is you smell it. And it smells like carrion. And then you see it.
Oh no.
Then you see
Is that why you knew about the vultures?
the strangest looking bird
Okay, yeah.
you have ever seen. It's mostly wings, and it does appear to have feathers, but the feathers have webbing in between them to create a sort of like almost like a parachute looking membrane on its wings. So it's not quite bat-like. It definitely has feathers, but there's more sort of skin to it, right, than you imagine. And then the body, the rest of the bird is relatively small compared to this wing size. And you can just see that it's sort of mostly gliding and occasionally beating its wings to get a little more height. But you can see that this creature, no check required, this creature with the increased gravity that you all have already sort of sussed out, really sort of relies on like updrafts and air currents and buoyancy almost to fly rather than brute strength. Not that it doesn't look strong enough. Also, to be very clear, we're talking like easily a 10-meter wingspan. That's 30 feet. This thing is huge.
I love it.
Timing was everything.
I love it.
Did my soul leave my body?
I did.
Amazing.
Perfect timing. And it wraps. It doesn't, right? You see birds dive and they sort of fold it. No. This thing like almost cocoons itself so that it is just like membranous wings and a head, and it dives. And not very far from this pile of NotSkitters, it just very quickly sticks two little legs out from underneath this cocoon of membrane wings. It lands and it immediately pecks the hell and starts eating these NotSkitter creatures. I would love for each of the 5 of you to put together a pool that represents your ability to keep your cool and not draw its attention, unless, of course, you want to draw its attention, in which case, tell me more. But otherwise... No, I'm getting a lot of no's. Okay.
You owe me so many drinks of PAX. I'm sorry. That was out of character, but oh my God.
Nah, that's not even out of character. That's perfectly in character. I feel like we all were thinking the same exact thing.
But I'm going to see him tomorrow.
I'm not even going to be there. Have a drink for me.
I'll send you drink. Yeah.
You should have my drink because
listen,
no,
you know that these are my creations and not B Dave's because they're not like eyeball insects like they were in season.
And they don't
1.
make the weird. Not
yes.
so much
Also,
sounds.
they don't make awful noises yet.
Yeah.
Can I science this? Stop! Oh God! Stop!
That was
perfect.
Dave. That was not
That
me.
was actually perfect.
It was not me.
I don't care who it was. I'm gonna hear that noise in my sleep.
All right, so keep your cool pools. Let me see. Focus is a definite one that I would buy.
What about remedy treating psychological wounds?
You know what?
So like,
That's funny, and I will take it because
Would you take survival?
I would absolutely take survival. Hell
Similar to
yes.
survival.
Oh God.
Hell yes.
Okay, so remedy.
We'll roll a little. Let's see. Let's get this thing's.
Yeah, I learned how to make the predator sound because I had dreadlocks, and I'm like, I wonder if I can just make that with my mouth. Yes, I can.
That's such a
I need to learn
weirdo
that
thing
because
to
I would
do.
actually truly like. I mean, come on, like I'm here for that whole concept.
All of you. What's our utility
It's
die?
just weird.
For this one, a D4, I believe, unless you have something on that I don't know about. Ilay, how'd we do?
I did the impossible. I did the anti-me. I got it all. I want it all.
I won it all. Wait, how many was that total though? Because you might have critically succeeded here, which is going to be real good in this situation if somebody does not.
I don't know if I don't think we got a utility. So I got two 8s and a 6. So.
Okay, so 3. Okay, all right, not a critical, but a definite success.
3 successes.
3 successes, absolutely. Love to see it.
2 successes.
2 successes, all right.
Don't like, but works.
Not bad, not bad. I rolled okay. Doring and Captain, how we doing?
2.
2 for Doring. Captain, you got to keep your cool, pool.
Cool.
What do we say? Focus, survival, remedy, which I think is funny because it's a psychological damage.
Look, seeing that thing and all these NotSkitters has jacked up Invicta.
Invicta's amygdala is freaking the F out. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Good.
I will say it's not a delicate dinner that this creature is having. And there is that sort of greenish bioluminescent whatever in their bellies going everywhere, and they got some weird yellow looking blood that's sort of flying around, bits of fur going. I'm just talking. We get the captain's pool.
Worse.
I don't like.
If we were not,
You're muted, Christina.
I thought you were just giving like exposition.
I mean, that too. I like to freak y'all out. How many?
That is 2 successes.
Okay. All right. Great. So there are a few moments during its dinner that it's sort of weird. Oh, did I mention it has 3 eyes? That its sort of head peeks over at you. And maybe the strangest thing about all of this is it stays wrapped, right? Because there really isn't room for it to unfurl its wings underneath the canopy here. So it stays wrapped, and every now and again it looks over at Ikemba, it looks over at Doring, it looks over at Captain Silent 919, but it then goes back to its dinner, and it doesn't take long for it to finish off this little mini pack of NotSkitters. And then it's sort of real ungainly, like wobbles over to the edge of the forest. And once it is out of the forest, and you can see, because you're not that far from the edge there, once it is out of the forest and onto the plains, it real slowly unfurls those wings and just sort of like rotates them in circles a little bit. And eventually you see the air sort of begin to build up inside of them, almost like a hot air balloon kind of thing is going on. And eventually the circles carry this creature up into the air, and it gives a mighty flap and begins to soar off into the distance.
well, that was disgusting.
Can we go to a planet that does not have creatures?
I mean,
no.
I would just prefer to not encounter another.
But did you think about the holes at all? Like, did you think about like, it's kind of like, what's that art? The art with the thing and the needles and the
pointillism?
Sewing.
no, with the needles and the
Cross stitch?
Tattoos.
Oh, tattoo.
Embroidery.
no.
This is fun.
It's the thing when you have something that's out of sorts and you like poke the holes.
Oh,
in.
Acupuncture. Is that what you mean? That's what we're talking about. Yeah, wow, we were not even close.
She
and I love
never
it.
said thread at all.
No, she didn't. That was a not unreasonable description of acupuncture.
And
We
we
just
were
were
like,
not with you.
Sewing?
I was thinking with the holes on the front of it, did no one else think about going and just like
Interesting.
like puncturing little things, and then maybe it would explode and it'll be a big beam of light, and then maybe we put the egg inside of it and it hatches.
No,
No?
that never occurred to me.
Actually.
Oh no.
We get it to sit atop an egg.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? It might be a legit egg instead of just an oblong shaped object.
Is it still ticking, by the way?
No, you all walked a few paces and it
Good
stopped ticking
questions.
and the portal shut. It didn't.
It's a
After the
biological
portal
clock.
shut, it stopped ticking. To be clear, there aren't really any organic components to this egg-shaped device. I feel like we sort of lost the thread on that at some point in the last 9 weeks.
That you know of.
Well, I mean, that's absolutely fair. And I am not above just changing things mid-season, but like, at least right now.
The ticking could be a heartbeat.
So,
God, all right, I'm gonna make some notes. Go on. What you doing?
We did not pick up the telltale heart. No,
That
I
we
refuse.
know of.
Which one? Never mind. I was gonna say which one of you killed somebody, but all y'all.
Mm-mm. Have I killed somebody?
Oh, that's fair. I don't know that you have.
Not
killed
on
a-
purpose.
I've killed the robot thingy, but that's a robot dog
Nah,
thingy.
that's a robot. All right, so
You know what?
that
When you say that, I just look at Captain Silent 919 like, they just said that was just a robot.
Yeah, and if I rip a person's arm off, I'm just disarming them. There's a lot that could be
Oh.
what it's not.
taking it in stride, Captain. I love it.
Yeah, this is proof
Uh,
there's something wrong with Scylla. That is my absolute proof that there's something wrong with Scylla.
I thought we already confirmed that. To be
Oh no,
fair.
but the fact that Scylla did not jump all over Ilay for that is my
That's
proof.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, we're all just hanging out, man. We're just friends on a journey, and
No, we're on a weird planet. I don't even know where we are. We can't call Torch. There's bugs, there's bat things. This isn't a journey. I didn't go to what's that place in the old Earth literature?
You all started reading Landon books
Or-
since our
yeah,
last season.
Look, I had to do something when Torch kicked us out.
We could try to. You know, how Gabe started speaking and the Doring switched. We could try to make a loud boom or noise and then hide away to see what will arrive. If there is some sort of sentience here, something that is out of character, that is not just a beast, would draw attention. They would come out, and then you all could do as you do, whether it is making friends or interrogations. But either way, it'd probably be the easiest way to see if there is anyone nearby to peacefully converse with. And if no one comes, then that is a knowledge of its own.
All right.
but what if we're here for a purpose, like higher reasoning, and there's a reason we can't get in touch with Torch? We have to figure this out for ourselves.
Yeah, that's the idea. And then he pulls a gun and shoots it in the sky.
Oh, I love it. As this retort goes off, it's loud. The NotSkitters had like only just started like making noises again now that flying thing is gone, and this you see the few pinpricks of not starlight that you see, just a couple of them like fall out of the trees and start like squeaking real loud. A bunch of them just, you can see like this wave of not stars just move into the more towards the interior of the forest, and you see, so outside of the forest there is those plains that I said, just like light rolling hills and plains out there. And you see a pair of these strange sort of six-legged, they almost look like antelope, but they have 6 legs and these sort of like floppy tentacle horn things on their heads that seem to be like maybe antennas is more accurate because they're sort of moving around. Yeah. And they sort of burst out of the tree line, a couple dozen meters down the way from where you all are. And what's strange is you watch them come out and run along this plain, and you all can very clearly see that there is a sort of like outcropping of rock, like sort of on top of one of these little hills. But these creatures do not seem to see it at all. They run right over it. A couple of them even stumble as they sort of, like you missed a step sort of thing. Like they don't see this strange outcropping at all. And with that little mystery, we will take our little halfway point break. We'll keep it tight because there are weird things abounding We'll be back very shortly, but everyone needs a little break, get some water, take a bio, whatever you need, take care of yourselves. We'll be back. We'll try and keep it to a tight, I don't know, 5 to 7, and then we'll see what this is all about. See you all shortly.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
They're getting
And we're
things
back.
are getting gross, and I'm excited about it.
And we're
Yeah.
back.
Mhm.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
So we left the crew. They had managed to avoid notice by a very creepy bird-like creature that was eating some also quite creepy star skitter-like creatures. And then they saw an antelope-like creature with floppy antennas and 6 legs sort of tumble over an outcropping of rock that, like, is very clear for you all to see, but they seem to have missed entirely. That was in response to Doring making a big loud racket. A few other things happened in the forest. Some of the not star skitters ran and made funny noises, but that's what's happened so far. Perhaps not exactly the response Doring was hoping for, but a response.
That's true. I'll take it.
What's next?
Not being here, that's what.
Oh my
Well,
God.
that does seem to be the larger goal today. Yes.
Is there any way, like, we have no connection to Torch, any of that kind of stuff?
Don't seem
If
to.
I'm still fully online. I can still, like,
You're still fully
Oh.
functional. Any of your communications or your like larger database uplinks or anything like that, you can't access at the moment. So local memory only kind of situation. Yes,
I'm
yes,
Christina.
Oh.
Captain, would you be able to place your locks into the ground and see if they are able to sense vibrations of anything, potentially for moving water or something else of the sort, a massive movement, the sounds of if there's anything that your sensors can pick up through ground vibrations. You smiled for a moment and it scared me. Not in me, in the ground. Okay. Scary.
Yeah, down they go. Why don't Scylla with your braid utility die, which I don't remember if that's a 6 or an 8, but whatever it is, make that utility die and go ahead and do probably awareness would be my thought for the skill.
Is
But if you
there
have
any way
something
that I
else,
can assist her, since awareness is one of the skills that I'm the best at, and if I can use my data pad to in any way like help
I like that.
like
Yeah.
negate some of the fuzz or whatever it is.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Yes, I will. Why don't you, before you roll, you can roll the rest of the pool, Captain, but leave your utility die out. Doring, why don't you do a little pool as well? And if DL2 for you, Doring, if you
Dope.
succeed, you will give, you'll increase the captain's utility die.
That's a 3.
That'll do. Okay, so whatever your braid utility die is, Silas, step it up by 1, and then you can roll that.
Mechanics.
Mechanics.
that's a
There
6
is-
on the D8.
Okay.
Four on the D4.
Hey, that's 2 successes so far.
Oh, love this digital roller. And a 3 on the 4.
And a 3 on the 4. Okay, so that is 2 successes there, and you do sense a pretty massive vibration.
I sense
Not-
a very massive vibration.
It's good vibration too. You sense it. It's fairly nearby, both like lateral distance and also depth. And the sense that you get is, since Doring suggested it, the sense that you get is like moving water, a large amount of very swiftly moving water. But there is also, and with Doring's help, he can sort of clear out some of the static so that you can also identify an ever so slight like electric hum.
Not hard to figure that one out for me. Do I know what the hum is? Like, or am I just gonna? Do I follow it?
It is. You're not sure what it does, but it's definitely. I mean, it's. I don't know. Maybe 10 meters at most down. And like again, maybe like you know what? It's coming sort of from somewhere underneath that weird outcropping of rock that the NotAntelope tripped over.
Let's make our way back over here near the rocks.
Captain Silent 919, with you in the lead heading for these rocks, there is something about these rocks that doesn't seem quite right as you get a little closer. Hard to say what it is.
One might say these rocks are MGMT because they've got a real electric feel.
Also, GM, is there anything in this place that looks right? Because you've been saying things ain't looking right. And
Yeah,
there
that's
hasn't
fair
been
enough. That's fair
something-
enough. You know, from a distance, the rocks at least look like rocks. But now they like kind of somehow don't.
So your question is the answer. No, none of it. None of it.
No,
Right.
you're
Okay,
right. None of
all
it.
right,
The
okay.
trees definitely looked like trees, just not trees you. Oh yeah, I see your point.
Rocks are obviously going to come alive and take shape, and they're going to be big giant rock creatures, and we're going to have to like do some moves to go and combat and break down some rock, and they're going to be like and have like big groggly voices and probably make really gross sounds that are or
Rock
something
soldiers.
else. That's what's about to happen, isn't it?
It is now.
We can shoot
No.
rock.
Doring, you said that.
It's like asking for homework.
Doring, you said that trees don't make steaks. How can you be certain here in this very weird place that trees don't in fact make steaks? Something to ponder.
I'm gonna walk over to a tree and just like kind of cut towards the center and see if it's fleshy.
Yeah, I mean the flesh of the tree is like bright red, but like not. I mean, it doesn't appear to be flesh.
I don't like the way you're saying flesh.
Taste it.
There's an implication to flesh that this thing is alive and it's about to all of a sudden sprout arms made out of its branches and multiple hairs, and they're gonna come out and it's gonna start walking on the roots on its tiptoes, and it's
Maybe
gonna
the
be
tree limbs are just either hair and or nerves that are going out.
I don't like where any of this is going.
I hope some developer for our book is writing all of this down in the audience.
You turned your work in. You can't add this.
That's true. Mine's done. Gabe, you taste. Sorry, Doring, you taste it. It has a much higher like water content than you probably would have expected from like Vatoan wood, but otherwise, you know, it's kind of bitter. Listen, you did this, and I don't know how else I am supposed to talk about any of this.
Sorry, continue talking about Vatoan wood. I'm
God.
sorry.
All right, that one got me.
Yeah, it's got more water content, but otherwise it is fairly bland, a little bitter, nothing too surprising, not flesh.
So it sounds like Scylla was sensing water relatively nearby.
Mhm.
The tree was moister than was expected.
Yeah.
So there is just and the planet has a heavier gravitational pull.
Uh-huh.
Which all of that's bad, because then that also means that like water pressure is probably worse. Does the ground feel soft?
Not unduly soft. No, not any softer than you might expect underneath a middling canopy in a forest.
How high would you say the grass grows? And this is a question of wondering how undisturbed it is.
Yeah, the grass out in the plain was like knee high to most of you.
Yeah, that's
There isn't much grass in underneath the canopy of trees. There's like some brush and some, shrubs and things like that. But
Yeah.
grass, sort of that big, tall, knee high grass doesn't really grow under the canopy.
Okay.
Sila, you were over by the rocks. Are you doing anything at this point?
I'm listening to the silent humming in the air.
Yeah.
I can still hear the vibrations resonating within my ear. Oh, those beautiful humming sounds that sound slightly like airplanes. So Sila has it in her head that obviously the worst thing that can possibly happen is going to happen.
Yeah.
So she walks over to the rocks and
Yeah.
starts tapping, like looking for either a hollow space or like a jiggle.
A jiggle. Yeah. Well, and funny enough, it is kind of a jiggle that you get. These rocks, when you touch them, they kind of ripple and waver almost. You can feel them to an extent, but they don't feel like you would expect. And there is a sort of, I'm trying to decide how to say it without giving too much away, but a sort of like wave distortion when you touch them.
So she's gonna do it again.
Uh-huh.
She's gonna like keep like kind of popping at it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, this might be mean. I don't know. So she's gonna take the hair that sparks.
Uh-huh.
Kind of singe it a little bit.
Yeah.
Ones that come out of it, like a vocal cord sound, and it's like a thing, and then all of a sudden it starts talking, or maybe instead of it being evil, it's actually a friend.
Uh-huh. It actually disappears. So as you touch the sort of electrified end of your braid to this rock, there is a little pop, almost like something is shorting, and the rock ripples and sort of disappears.
What's behind it?
A door.
Ooh. Is it a locked door?
Well, it hasn't opened yet. That's not really an answer to your question, but there is no obvious handle with which to open said door, but it's also not responding to like your proximity, like doors on many of the ships back on Vatoa do.
So I'm gonna go up to the door and just kind of tap around it, just kind of start pushing at it.
Yeah, this door at least doesn't ripple. It feels appropriately solid, but it doesn't open. It doesn't seem to give. Let me real quick, Silo. Let me check in with the rest of the crew. So Doring was over tasting trees. What about the? I could have phrased that differently, and I chose not to. What about the rest of you? Ilay and Invicta. Ilay, Invicta, and Ikemba, the I crew.
I've been watching. Oh, go ahead.
I just said I'm being an dummy. Yep.
You've been watching, well, probably both of them, but which one, Invicta?
I've been curiously watching Doring taste a tree and wondering, having the weird thought of all things, is that like cannibalism?
Ooh, that got me. I was not ready.
I mean, he's a Salansi, and he bit a tree.
She better get a womp womp too. This is not fair. This is womp womperation.
I don't have my. All right.
That was just foreplay. It's all right.
Look, you and your polycule, everything isn't about trying to bang stuff.
Ilay has not banged anything in this all the games we've played, so I don't know what that.
Yeah, but you just said it was foreplay. Like, what kind of weird
catch up?
What kind of weird landed literature are you reading?
Landed has a whole new meaning.
Right?
What is wrong with you?
I gotta go. Ikemba, what are you up to?
Watching all of this, and just like, I have a concern. Like,
Can't
just
take
all of
them
it
anywhere.
is concerning. because
Yeah.
no thank you to any of it. But
Yeah, fair
also,
enough.
No.
Fair
And
enough.
Ikemba's just like kind of waiting for the
Some
waiting
shoe
for the
to
petty
drop.
to come from Ilay.
Yeah.
He's just
Oh,
like
sure.
suddenly
Yeah, yeah.
sitting back like there will be petty. It will happen.
Nah.
I'll respond with it down.
I gotta pick my moments. All right. So as we all debate the ethics of Salansi vegetarianism, Captain, Captain, you're not having any luck with this door. And as you look around, you don't see any sort of like access panels or circuitry or whatever to try and braid into. It just, the only reason it seems like a door is because it's sort of a flat, obviously metallic surface with a seam down the middle that sort of seems like where the doors might part. But otherwise,
So, who's near me at
I think
this moment?
closest to you would probably either be Ilay or Ikemba. So take your pick.
Ikemba.
Yes.
Silo pulls out a bowl from her chest. She's Ikemba. I'm not able to get this door open, but it's still, and she puts the bowl on the handle and says, it's still adorable.
And Ikemba just looks over to Invicta and just, yes, something's wrong.
Look, if I knew where we were and could get her back to Torch.
Agreed, but
Why do you all keep speaking about me as if I am not standing here
I
and
know.
not confident what is going on? There's nothing wrong with me. I am exploring new facets of myself and taking the time to learn me and to figure out what I like. Maybe I wanted to be a motivational speaker. Maybe I wanted to be these different things, but I don't know. I have the luxury of trying out different personalities, but I don't have the luxury of time, so I have to work it out while I'm here.
I know you could hear me.
Wrong
I'm
with
just
you. I'm just processing.
this is the first we've heard of it. I
okay.
think that's my only issue. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's not amnesia. I don't forget anything.
didn't
I have
say
an
you-
amazing memory.
I'm aware.
And I have
You
lots of
fantastic
backup
memory.
and storage.
You have all the data, literally exactly what happened, as it
But I don't
exists,
have the
probably
data.
in video form.
Oh my God.
So you have the proof.
Mm.
It's more that we don't exist in that fashion. We can't pull up the exact moment a thing happens in memory. So when you start to explore without informing us, without speaking to us, it just seems quite different out of nowhere. So we're all just really confused, and we would like to learn more about your search and your journey to find yourself. That's all.
Oh, it's the communication. It's the communication. I apologize. I could have been a lot more clear on all of those things. But sometimes you have to do. But I realize in hindsight, I am still the captain. And I should have communicated properly. I don't really I communicate as a job, but trying to blend that personally is not. You know what? None of that matters right now. This door won't open. I'm an open book. Let's just figure out how to get inside there. You know what? We don't need to talk about me. We don't need to discuss this. Never bring it up again. And she goes and starts kicking the door.
You're just kicking it. Yeah.
I just look at
And Kimber just
Ikemba.
like goes in front of like where she's kicking the door, just like kind of blocks and just. I would like to let you know that, regardless of your frustration with communication, your opinions are valid. We care about your opinions, and we really just want the best for you. If you'd like to continue breaking down the door, by all means, I'll get out of your way. But you matter. You matter to us, and we want to do right by you. And he just kind of like steps out of the way.
Captain Silent 919, it was a lovely thing that Ikemba said to you, and I will let you decide how much of it you paid attention to, because as soon as Ikemba stood in front of that door and faced you, it opened behind him.
Oh.
Did I do that?
I'm gonna do one of these. Just trying to look around what's going on in the door.
So just so I know, Captain Selena when I was facing the door, and Ikemba was facing her, so his back is to the door when it opens. What do we see behind Ikemba?
You see a downward sloping hallway with lights that begin to flick on down the hallway. It goes down quite a ways and then sort of turns, so you can't really see. The walls appear to be metallic, and the lights are, built into the walls.
Not the sequential lighting, not the.
That's the one.
Why?
That's the one.
Why do we find the company that's in the Assassin's Creed games? Why? I can't remember the name of it, but that's what I'm thinking of.
Ikemba.
Yes, the door's behind me. Yes. What?
It's open.
Oh, all right. I guess we should. And he just kind
of. The both of you. Yeah, I mean, it looks like, it goes down quite a ways, and you can see, even if you can't see further down, you can tell that the hallway goes on, more lights are spinning up, and Captain Silent 919, that electric hum is obviously coming from in here. The lights are part of that electrical system, but there were obviously other systems that were still going, and that's what you were hearing. The water is probably down there somewhere too, although that is somewhat less obvious.
I think we got her. We still got her.
So. There we go.
The internet.
So yeah, that's what you see and hear heading down that way.
Just gonna follow the sound.
Yeah. So Captain starts down the tunnel. Y'all following?
Yep. Sure.
Yep. All right.
I've lived this long. It's been a good life.
Yep. Down you go. And it's not a very long tunnel, to be honest. It turns a couple of times and eventually opens up into a fairly large hexagonal sort of room. And there are view screens everywhere. There are 6 main ones, one on each wall, but there are other sort of smaller little ones sort of around here and there. And each one of them shows a different view of the forest that you were just in. And most of them seem to be, or anyway, at this particular moment, are pointing in the direction of fairly large clusters of those not Starskitter creatures. And after a few seconds, you actually watch one of the smaller view screens that seem to be focused on just like 2 of the little creatures. They sort of run off camera or whatever. And if like a second later, the angle of what you're seeing on screen follows them until it has those 2 creatures in view again, and then it stops. And they sort of, you watch as they any of them that are watching these creatures, which are very obviously noticeable by their starlights. Anytime they move out of frame, the whatever is watching them sort of follows a moment later, keeping them in view.
So Silas gonna back up, like back up out of the way, and just turn around and kind of eye contact. It's very creepy in there.
Creepy how?
You know how I said I wish we could go to a planet with no creatures?
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely not that direction.
What's in there?
Man, I wish the Wreck-It Ralph was an in-game thing that I could reference, because all I can think about is that tower when they go inside and there's all the bugs and the candy land gets taken over by all the bugs. So pretend for a second that
No.
I'm just
That.
No. Nope. I'm good. Mm-mm.
just like a big hive.
No.
We can blow it up.
Yes. Let's destroy all of them. That sounds like a plan.
What
So they
if
can
they
never come
bomb?
back to us. It did tick.
We could hit a bunch of buttons, toss it in. That's totally what Eugenio wants.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody down!
I mean, I'm actually kind of tempted now, but have we just hit a bunch of buttons on this device yet? Like, to be honest, what do we have to lose here?
Well, the thing is, the device doesn't really have buttons. It just opens a portal every time somebody touches it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think happens if you touch it a bunch without moving? Is it going to open portals on top of each other?
Is this our version of bags of holding in portable holes? Is that what we're going for here?
Who's holding it right now?
I
It's in
believe
my
Ilay
backpack.
is. Yeah, it's in Ilay's
Could
backpack.
I see the device?
Okay. I'll open my backpack and
Does it make out
Okay.
the portal?
It does. And it sort of opens up, nearby where you are, not in any of you. And you can actually, now that you know what to listen for, because it is down here, you just hear the electrical hum, right? When the portal opens, you can hear the sounds, right, of those NotSkitter creatures, the little chitterings and squeaks and clicks and such. And actually, well, you all are in that hallway. You're not in the room with the view screens, right? You're back still in that hallway, or are you going into the room?
I think so.
You know what?
Going into the room. Oh, yeah.
I've lived long enough. I'm just going in the room.
yeah,
Okay,
sure.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you all can be in the room. That's fine. And Invicta, you see them everywhere, but it immediately becomes clear they're not in the room, at least. So it's not a great sight, but at least they're not, there. Doring, as you do this and the portal opens, you all catch sight of one of the view screens, and you can see a portal open in the woods. It looks like pretty close to, if not the exact spot that you all arrived in, is being shown on one of these view screens, and you see another portal sort of come into view as the one in the room where you are also opens.
But there's another portal in the room?
Well, there's one in the room where
And one outside.
Doring is,
Outside.
and then one in the woods.
So this just always takes you, no matter where you open it, this takes you to that location.
There
Probably.
is also, and Captain, I'm pretty sure this wasn't in the room when you poked your head in a couple of minutes ago, but then you came back out, and there is a little pedestal in the center of the room that wasn't there when you first poked your head in, and it just sort of has a little, like a flat top with a little indentation in it.
She's gonna walk towards it.
What is it, Captain?
This room was not this room just moments ago. It's gonna reach out her hand to kind of feel around the indentation.
Yeah, it's, as you look more closely, you sort of get a feel for it. It's about the size of the thing that, yeah, there it is.
You just dunk it?
Yep.
You realize as
100%.
Doring comes forward with the little egg-shaped device, that it's about that size. And as Doring puts it in, the first thing that you notice is that both portals, the one in the room and the one on the view screen, close immediately. The pedestal begins to light up from the bottom up, just like a sequence of lights. And then on the top, around the edge of the around the edge of the indentation where the egg is now sitting, there is a half of the circle, half of the top of this thing is green, and half of it is red.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Oh my God, is this Portal?
No, that
No,
breaks
it's
my brain too much to
Jumanji.
try and run it into TRPG.
There.
It's
This is
Jumanji.
the Motherlands.
It
It
is
is not
not
that
Jumanji,
name
I
that
would
you
do.
have mentioned.
Such a good Gladys. Or
Tap it 3 times.
the green or the red or the egg.
The egg.
Yeah, well, this time nothing happens.
Ooh, tap the green.
When you tap the green, a portal opens on the view screen in that same place.
Mm-hmm.
But this time one does not open in this room.
Tap the red to open one in this room, assumedly.
The one in the view screen goes out.
Mm-hmm.
And one opens there. You now notice there's a part of one of the walls sort of has a little archway like carved into it, and a portal opens there and sort of fits perfectly in that part of the wall.
Interesting.
There are also, I should say, I realize I haven't actually said this, although when you all were talking about pressing buttons and stuff, I assumed but I shouldn't assume. There are a few little terminals around. It doesn't look like this place is it looks like this place is mostly automated, but there are a few interface looking things around the walls of this room as well.
Question. Well,
Yeah, what's up, Ilay?
I'm just gonna, because we haven't looked at, like, Ilay's not the most tech savvy person, but I'm gonna start looking at the tech to see what it's based off. Is it Vutoan tech based?
Linux.
Yes, it's Fedora. Shout out to the computer science nerds out
That's
there.
the one.
Anyway,
yeah, it does not look like any sort of technology from any Vutoan culture you've ever seen, nor does it look landed, and having the experience that you and the rest of your team has, nor does it look Hapalock, it bears saying.
This is interesting. I'm just gonna say to, you know, the tech people in the team, this is not, I mean, I know we're looking at monitors and screens and buttons, but none of this looks familiar, right?
Can I do a roll? 'Cause I'm looking at information and science,
Yeah,
or
I like that.
investigation, but I have more dice than science.
What are you trying to glean from? I mean, yes, you absolutely can, but tell me a little bit more about what you want to know.
Basically, see if I can reach back into my memory from university and any of my studies.
Oh, I see. Oh, interesting. Yeah, go ahead and roll it up. Let's see. It's kind of a high DL, but you might.
Well,
let's
it's
see what happens.
2d6 and 2d8 plus my utilities. So,
Okay, that's enough dice to hit the DL, so that's a start.
well, depending on what they roll. In my
Yeah, fair enough.
My utility
Fair
is still a
enough.
d4.
For this one, yes. It's mostly gear that raises your utility, and I don't think any of y'all have any investigative gear except for maybe Doring's.
Yay! I got 4 successes.
Hey,
Yeah.
okay, so a few things that you notice. One is that it is definitely like because 4 of you have dealt with the Hapalocks and have seen their technology. This technology does look like it is designed to be like manipulated by relatively standard hands and fingers, right? Like this isn't some wackadoo alien species that uses, Scylla to interact with their technology, right? Like you press buttons and you whatever. None of it looks. Again, you can definitely confirm what Ilay said when they were like, this doesn't look at all familiar. It definitely does look like Vutoan culture, but there are things about it that kind of almost look familiar, and it doesn't really matter what it is that is catching your eye as familiar, Invicta, so much as what it makes you think of, which is there are so many things that you have seen and found surrounding these weird egg portal devices that is almost Vutoan. That is Vutoan inspired, or maybe that Vutoa was inspired by.
Oh.
Just like the architecture looked kind of like ancient Hyanol, but like isn't. And
Mhm.
just like the DNA of that fur that you found was almost Hyanol, and just like these not star skitters are almost star skitters, this
Mhm.
technology is almost Vitoan.
Would I know if we're on a moon of Vitoa?
If you are not aware of any celestial bodies near in the Vitoan system that have this kind of environment, this sort of biome on it.
Okay.
Is this planar travel?
Oh god. No. Don't make me
No.
write planes too.
Parallel universes? Like,
No, but it feels like it's almost like for lack of a better way to describe it, like the mirror universe of Star Trek.
yeah.
That's fun.
I mean, that's the only thing I'm thinking of where it's like Vitoa, but not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all feels again like the best way to describe it, it'd be like one of these things inspired the other. It's maybe not immediately clear which direction that
Oh.
inspiration goes, but like you can see like it's that level of similarity, right?
Okay.
That makes sense.
With that in mind, I want to go investigate one of these consoles while people are doing other things.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let me check in on the rest of the crew, and then I'll come back to you with that console. What else are we doing, folks? Anything, or just supporting Invicta's curiosity?
I'm gonna look for like prongs, because like the last time there was technology like this, there were prongs and traps. So I'm gonna look for that, because my computer science brain is going 50 million miles a second, but I'm not asking them questions. So
Okay, I love it. I love it.
And I don't want to ask you them questions either.
I mean, listen, if I can, I will pull an answer out of my booty, but thank you. Yeah, okay. I'll awareness pool, investigation pool, whatever makes most sense for you, Ilay. Anybody else got anything they want to check out down here?
Yes.
Yes. Tell me more.
Ikemba just wants to get whatever details he can off of the nearest thing to him. So he just like picks up something that's nearby and is just like, what is this?
Yeah, okay. What do you find nearby? You find nearby... Oh, I know what you find nearby. You find nearby, it's similarly shaped to the portal egg thing, but this one is almost looks like it's made of glass or like clear crystal. And inside, you sort of see there seems to be a little liquid, like some sort of liquid, clear liquid, with little... They almost look like sparks sort of floating around inside of it. And you pick it up and it doesn't immediately do anything for whatever that's worth. If you want to like, oh, go ahead.
I'm trying to like figure out this because I feel like I want to attempt something new that I haven't tried yet.
I'm excited. Tell me more.
I'm taking my utility die of the D4.
Okay.
I'm taking the D6 because truth.
Okay.
I'm going to go with remedy.
Okay. Tell me more.
Because it's more of like trying to diagnose.
Oh, how interesting. Okay.
So it's not
yeah.
like he doesn't want to treat anything, but it's the diagnosis process.
Okay.
He wants to use to diagnose what it is, whether or not it's how different it is from Vitoa.
Uh-huh.
And with that,
I like it.
Using it's a binary universe.
Ah, yes. Cool.
So you combine I'm happy to sacrifice the mental stress to add the terminal skill to this dice pool and get 2 additional D8s.
I love it. Do that. Roll it up, and I will come back to get your successes in a minute. Doring or Captain, anything y'all want to do, investigate, look at, poke at?
Not so much. This
That's okay.
place is messing with him because everything that he knows is natural is just slightly off, and it's wrong.
Yeah. It would almost be better if it was more alien, right? Like weirder and not somehow connected to what it should be. Yeah.
Yes.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
I got a single success with all those die. A single success and 1-1. So like I just got one of both extremes just for funsies.
Just for funsies.
It hurts.
Ooh, that's so many dice, my dude.
Right.
All right. I mean, it's a very pretty paperweight, if nothing else. I don't know. Yeah, I feel you. Ilay, how was your search for the prongs going?
I got 2 2 successes with the sixes. Yeah. Mhm.
Great. You don't. First of all, you don't see any like in the doorways or in the hallways or whatever to find you. But you do see there are a few like there are a few connection points for some of these consoles and things that have similar looking little prongs that seem to be like, I don't know, connecting them for power or data, almost as if that's their sort of energy transfer system. But you don't see anything that looks force fieldy like in the labyrinth.
Okay. Cool.
Invicta, let's come back to you at this console. Before we have you roll anything, just tell me, like, what's the approach?
Kind of going up to it cautiously, keeping my discovery in the back of my mind, but still being cautious because I don't know what's been in this room.
Sure, fair enough.
And actually, I rolled already, so I can.
Okay, great. Tell me.
I did a pool with using information because data is a practical application. And
Absolutely.
once more, science.
Makes
because
sense.
it's leveraging my understanding. So I got 3 successes.
Oh, great.
So
you're able to sort of see, you sort of call up some menus, right? And there's a small view screen sort of by each of these terminals or consoles or whatever. And very clearly, like the layout of what you're seeing is like there are menus of some files, probably data, right, of some sort. That you could access if you wanted. It seems like you've sort of figured out at least the basics of navigation on this device. What do you want to do with that?
I want to press buttons and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So you press some buttons, you pick some files, and some audio actually begins to play in this room. And it does take y'all's translators a second, but eventually they do click in and begin translating the language that you are hearing. And what you hear is a progress report, sort of scientific progress update. And as it goes on, it's pretty clearly talking about those NotSkitter creatures.
Oh.
It seems to us that these specimens would be ideal for the new environment. The patterns upon their torsos are fascinating. We look forward to watching the evolutionary process in a different biome to see if indeed they do match the new star system's constellations. An interesting long-term research project for this facility. We look forward to sending the first specimens through to begin populating the new home.
Oh.
And that, as confusing as it is where we'll leave it for this week.
Are you half-lifing us? Don't be half-lifing. What is it? Are you half-lifing us? Come on.
He said nah.
Wow. Well.
Hey, thanks everybody.
I'm into it.
Definitely hate to end it there because I want to know what the cast is thinking, but like we'll find out next week. It's totally fine.
Oh, fear.
Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. We got two more of these coming up, and I am very excited about it. Let's see what happens next week, what they have, what they make of this little audio record of this weird facility that was hidden in the plains on this strange planet. I just don't know, but we'll find out all together in the next couple of weeks. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's go around and let everybody know who you are and where they can support you between now and next week's show. And we will do, let's see if I can remember the bounces around that we did. So I believe we started with Michael.
Yes, hello. My name is Michael Sinclair II. I go with Michael Crits everywhere. I am a professional TTRPG performer, a Magic the Gathering semi-pro, and a voiceover actor. You can catch episodes of a D&D podcast I'm in, Faith Forge Academy, every Friday, wherever you listen to podcasts. And also you can listen to a Magic the Gathering podcast I'm in called the Nuts and Bolts podcast, where we talk about standard, pioneer, sometimes modern, I feel like magic things. Those were the places you can find me.
Sorry, I was talking, but I was locally muted. DJ.
There you
Oh, hi, it's me. I'm DJ Knight. You can find me at pretty much everywhere at DJ Knight. Yes, even there, because I didn't want somebody to go there to that place that you're thinking of and, do stupid things that I wouldn't do. So it's there. Nothing is going to happen, but it's there. I play a lot of space and sci-fi games. I've been playing a lot of Star Citizen. It's been in a free fly. So basically anybody who wanted to come and check it out could play. It's been awesome. This last little bit. My favorite thing is FOIP, where they basically use your webcam to mocap your face and put it on your character in game. And it is my favorite thing in the history of the universe. I have done a couple DJ Nightly News in the mornings based on Gabe's recommendation. It's been awesome. And I've been playing, also sneaking into some DMZ in Warzone 2.0, because it is the best way to take a free game and then add raid shooter elements. And it's still in beta, which means they're likely to add more features. Let's go. I've been having a great time. That's pretty much where I'm going to be, except for tomorrow. Predecessor, which is basically a Paragon, not clone. They remade Paragon, which was a third-person MOBA. The only MOBA that I ever really cared about, aside from Pokemon Unite, and this was way before Pokemon Unite ever existed. Like, the only one I was ever good at, the only one I ever cared about, like, because, wait a minute, I can use my shooter abilities in a MOBA? Let's go. So it's been great. I've not played Predecessor. There was another Paragon version that came out, the Overprom. I played that. That was enjoyable. I'm looking forward to trying Predecessor for the first time tomorrow. Too much. Catch me playing sci-fi stuff. It's gonna be awesome. You're awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you soon.
I don't think we currently have Christina, so we will skip and come back, which means let's bounce on over to Gabe.
Hi, Gabe Hicks, Gabe James Games. Not gonna say anything weird this time. I'm on the internet.
Okay.
Won't you also be at PAX?
I will, but they're gonna have to find me.
I know your whole schedule.
It's one of the games. You get the prize
Tanya,
if you find them.
Okay, Tanya, there's a difference. You could reach out to me and I would let you know my location. My DMs ain't gonna be on while I'm in PAX.
That is wise.
I feel
it does
that.
go down in the DMs.
Hop. Tanya, who are you? What were you doing?
I am here at least until tomorrow. Then I too will be at PAX. Friday, I'm doing 3 things. I'm doing 3 panels and games. Gloomhaven at 1:00 on the main stage.
Yeah.
Eugenio and I are in a game together. We both get to be players for once, and play bards. And then immediately following that, we are going to do Motherlands Live, and I will let Eugenio give you way more info on that. And then Rivals Live at part of our regular season at PAX, also on the main stage. And then I'm going to come home for 2 whole days and then go to the Game Awards.
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Yay, I'm very excited to see you.
If we get Christina back, we will let her do her own thing. But just so you all know, you can find Christina everywhere on all of the socials at Christina Ariel. That's KrystinAarielle. She is like that everywhere except for one place because somebody took her name and it's weird, but I don't remember where it is. It's fine. You should check her out because she's doing all kinds of awesome stuff. She was at the Willow premiere, which was super cool. She posted some pics about that. I don't know. Follow Christina. She's awesome. And I have been and will continue to be Eugenio. I'm DM Jazzy Hands in most of the internet. You can follow me on Twitch, on Twitter, on Hive. I don't know. I will also be at PAX. As Tanya said, I am going to be in a all bard game on Friday evening. That one's going to be DM'd by CB, by Critical Bard, Omega Jones. And then we are doing it Into the Motherlands Live. It's very exciting. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. I definitely know, but I'm not going to tell you. Players are going to be, we will have, oh, no, she's over here. We'll have Tanya, of course, joining us with Invicta, right? Tanya, yes? Yeah, okay. So Invicta will be joining us.
Too much work.
Yeah, fair enough. But we will also be joined by opening narration reader, Urban Bohemian Brian Gray. We will be played by wonderful mod and clip maven extraordinaire Lady Luck 34, and Omega will also, Critical Bard will also be joining us at that table. So we get to play lots of games with CB this weekend, and that is going to be on Friday night. A little one-off. It will not be directly connected to this season, just like the one at San Diego Comic-Con a couple of years ago. Just going to be its own little story, and I am very excited about that. Very excited to get 3 brand new players into the Motherlands, and it's going to be great. Sunday, of course, we have Rivals Live, which Tanya's DMing, and that's very exciting for our pre-Penny Epi. I screwed that up in my tweet the other day, and of course, Latia and Brian were both immediately on top of me.
I just let it go. I'm like, I'm gonna let you have that. I know how much Penny
Yeah.
Epi means to you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That is what I will be doing and hanging out. There's a chance there's one more panel that I've forgotten about, but it's fine. Just check the schedule. You'll see me around. And that's all we got for you. We
Aren't you
will
on a
be back.
panel with V.
No, I think the panel that I was going to be on with V didn't get accepted. There was another one that was accepted. I don't. Somebody will email me telling me where I need to be, and then I will tweet about it. So follow me on Twitter.
And
Thanks
Christina
so much, y'all.
did lose her internet, unfortunately.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
We're sad to lose her right at the end, but she made it through the episode. Go follow her. She's the best. We
DJ.
are going to see you all next week. Same time, same place for episode 9, our true Penny Epi, penultimate episode for this season of Into the Motherlands. Very exciting. What's going on? What do they mean, specimens? We'll find out. Who we going to raid tonight, Tanya?
Well, DJ actually had something else, I think.
I just wanted
yes.
to remind the fam that the words Richard Chocolate
Oh, God.
were uttered this episode, not necessarily in that
No.
order. I just wanted to sprinkle that in there just as a reminder. You're welcome.
See, I try to make sure you get your say, and this is what you do.
Hey, I appreciate you. I'm just want to make sure that one of our
That's my
cast members
homie.
gets their proper flowers. That's all.
That's
I'm
my homie. DJ always got my
That's
back.
all I'm saying.
Oh, wait till you're with him in person.
We
Oh
gotta
yeah,
get out of
it's
here.
gonna be a
Oh,
problem for
we gotta
We got to
everybody.
get out of here.
When the
All right.
here, I got you. That's how this is supposed to work. If I don't have you, what's the point of being around you? Like that's disrespectful to both of our times and energies and efforts. I got to be around people who I can basically be the hype man for. And if I can't do it, then why are we near each other?
Just so I
That's
get
not how
DJ
it
my life, I'm putting this on the timeline live. I'm gonna try and make it to PAX East. So we're gonna go.
Yeah,
we're gonna try and do
March.
that.
March,
So
March.
we'll
do
All right,
try
and with
say it.
that,
All right.
we're gonna actually go hang out with Technique because he's usually not on
Yeah.
now.
Technique.
And
Right?
Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer 40K Dark Tide is officially out.
Yeah.
So he's doing a release stream, and I've had fun with it. Maybe we can get some folks together and play it, but that's where we're going. See you in a week if you're at PAX. So we'll see you this weekend.
I'll
Bye, y'all.
Game Pass. You're gonna get it for free.
Yes.